What traits do we look for? You're all aware that Monsanto's released the new Roundup Ready to Yield. What they've seen is yields 7 to 11% increase. And we've been told by all the major companies that in the next 15 years, our yields should increase to almost 30% from where they are today. Things that are coming, I don't know if you guys have seen all the new traits that are coming in the pipeline, but it's going to be very exciting. I mean, we got the Roundup Ready to Yield. We got Liberty Link, which is also a herbicide resistant. We're going to have omega-3 beans coming. We have low oleic oils. We got high oleic. There's just many traits that are going to be coming in the next 5 to 10 years, and I think it's going to really benefit you as our customer. Where do we sell our corn and beans? Well, I'm just going to talk about the bean side. Kevin will talk about the corn side maybe tomorrow. But we got our local elevators that are close to us. I live about 50 miles from a Bunge crushing plant, so that's where the majority of our beans go. The guys that are in that Mississippi or close to a river, they usually go to the river elevators. And then we also got the special soybean markets. That's for some people raise organic beans. Some go to IP, non-GMOs. Some are in the food grade. Some are planting the low-lind Vistiv type of hybrids. And then some people are also seed growers for these different companies. And how do I sell my corn and soybeans? Well, my options are future contracts. We can do hedge to arrive, forward contracts, and just plain cash sales. My marketing plan mainly is forward contracts. I try and find a price that I can make a profit, and I try and lock it in, and then I cover myself with puts and calls and have a spread in there, so I know where my my floor is going to be, and because the way I look at it is I need to manage the risk, and I don't need to tell you guys what the risk out there is today. It's huge. When do I sell? Like I said, I try and forward contract. When the prices were really high last year, I was fortunate enough to have my local co-op allow me to forward contract out 3 years. So I'm sitting in very good shape. We're looking at $14.50 beans and $6.50 corn and $9 wheat. So I'm very happy. I hope you guys didn't get stuck buying it, but we'll also sometimes we'll sell spot throughout the year. If I decide to sell a load of corn or beans that week, I'll call up the elevator and just bring it in on the spot. Or we might do a forward contract for a month or two forward. Say it's December and I want to sell some, and I'll do a March delivery for my beans. And we usually try and get all of our crops sold by the next harvest season. I do have a little bit of corn left and a little bit of beans left because as an American farmer, we're always optimistic that prices are going to go crazy, and I don't want to miss out on that high of the year, and I never hit it. I usually hit the low. So the impact on the global financial crisis, I'm no expert, so I really don't know. I do know that the cash grain farmer in the U.S. came out of this relatively unharmed. We had a lower debt load at that time. We'd been coming off a couple of years where we had been able to make some profits, so we had some cash on hand. And also, most of the banks we work with are small rural banks. They weren't involved in the Wall Street fiasco that happened. So the biggest problem is the guys that are in the livestock sector, and you guys well know about that. The dairy industry is taking a very hard hit, and so are the swine. And that's my main customer. So I got to make sure that we do whatever we can to help protect them. and I'm sure it's the same with you guys too. You know, why choose U.S. meal? You know, we've done many studies throughout the whole world trying to show our advantage, and in results we've shown that. We're going to see a presentation later where you know, we'll be able to show you at least a $30 a ton value of buying U.S. meal over you know, the other choices, either South American or Indian meal. What do we have in U.S. meal? Well, we got high quality. You know, you take the digestible amino acids profile and you take the energy instead of just crude protein, and we do have a higher quality. Also consistency. You're not going to beat our consistency. That's mainly because of the crushing facilities that we have. We have a consistent product. We don't overheat, overcook it. It's always, you know, for the most part, it's the same color, and it's a very even product. And also the reliability. You're not going to beat us on reliability. You take it from the time we harvest to the time it hits the vessel. Nobody can do a better job than we can. We're very efficient. We are getting outdated, and we need to look at that, because if yields do increase 30% like our companies are telling us, we're going to have an infrastructure problem in the U.S. And then that comes to my main point, is value. Now, what is true value? When you buy from the U.S., you get to see me and you get to see my other three friends over here, the U.S. farmer. I don't think anybody else will bring their farmers over to talk to you, the customers. And also the staff that we have here, John and his staff. You can't beat them. You can ask them, call them up for information, get technical advice. I don't think you'll get that anywhere else. So when we're talking the value of the U.S. product, you're not just getting the U.S. meal, you're getting all of us. You're getting the farmer, you're getting the technical advice, you're getting the whole package. And I just want to thank you. We appreciate your business, and we hope for another 30 years of partnership. And thank you, and I'll take any questions if there are any.
Good morning.
Good morning.
About the quality of the meal for this crop, since the past years you have been consistently low in protein, how do you look at the new crop for this year?
Well, like I said, we hope it's going to be a little higher. There's only been a very few loads that's been harvested so far in the U.S. And this come out of Hastings, Nebraska, which would be right down close to the Kansas-Nebraska line. And they did some samples, and it was a point higher than last year. So we're hoping that it'll be a little higher than it was last year.
When do you get to determine if it's really higher than in the past?
We'll have to wait. We'll have to wait till the harvest gets rolling, which will probably be about another 3 weeks before we really get into harvest.
Mm-hmm. You also mentioned there was an increase in your yield for this crop. The yield.
Yes, what about the yield?
You said in the past you have a 2.5 per
Yes.
hectare, and this year you're looking at 4?
3.5 to 4.
3.5.
Yes.
What's the primary reason for such an increase?
Moisture.
Uh-huh.
I got rain every day, every 4 days, whether I wanted it or not. And where I live, it's all dry land. So crops grow on rain, especially soybeans are made with August rains.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Here we got one more.